Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now today I am on the dev server, which has pretty much at the time of recording this video just opened. I have just got on as soon as they opened it, and I'm going to be looking through, in this video I'm going to be looking through all of the new vehicles one by one. I will be doing separate videos where I look at the new graphic updates, and I'll be doing test flights or test drives of the vehicles I can test in separate videos. This video is purely going to be in the hangar looking at the new vehicles. So we're going to start off with what is perhaps the most anticipated vehicle of the update, the M1 Abrams. So this tank is practically legendary. Overall, the model looks really nice in-game. I really do like how it's sort of quite flat and simple looking in design, although general specs of the tank, you've got the 105mm M68A1 cannon, you have 55 rounds of ammunition. You also have a 12.7mm machine gun, and two 12.62mm machine guns. So if you look at the armor, so basically rolled homogeneous for the outer armor mostly, not overly thick around the front. Like that bit there's well, that bit there's 19, that bit there's 31. Frontal bits on the turret, not so much. Although it does have, I believe, quite advanced armor, which we'll probably see when we go on X-ray. So basic, quite thin armor on the outside. But if we go on X-ray, there we go. Look at that composite armor. Look, so many layers. That is just wow. That is pretty good armor. That is. So I'm not actually that close to this tank, but I am looking forward to playing it out. Although that armor is very interesting in design. So this thing's probably going to be absolutely beastly on the battlefield. Very difficult to actually damage, at least from the front. Top max speed 45 miles an hour. That is really good for a tank, at least compared to the ones I've been driving recently. So pretty excited for this tank. When I do eventually get it, it'll be pretty good. 390,000 RP. I actually expected it to be more than that, but that isn't too bad compared to what I thought it would be. 9.0 battle rating. I thought it would be higher than that. I thought they would raise the battle ratings. They might still before the update, but at this point it isn't. So it's still 9.0. And it's coming after the MBT-70, which many people expected. Next up, we have the Magash 3, which is, of course, the Israeli sort of premium tank. Okay, so there were some pictures from the CDK which showed it with ERA. It doesn't look to have it here, so it might just be in the dev server now. It hasn't, but I'm not entirely sure. Even you got the little Israeli symbol in front of the name. So this is a rank 5, 7.7 battle rating. You have a 105mm M68 cannon, which seems to be similar to the one on the M1. Let's look at the armor. Very good armor. Front section, there's 200mm there. It's very good armor. Yeah, overall looks like a decent tank. I know it's a mix of other American tanks, so I expect it to be quite good. I will not personally be getting this tank, at least at the moment. But overall looks like a good tank, something that will probably be quite good for grinding out the tech tree. Okay, anything else? I don't believe there is. Nah, it doesn't look like there is anything else of note here. Aviation. Nah, doesn't look like there's anything there. Okay, let's move on to the Germans. So we'll start off with the aviation. Something a lot of people are very hyped for, the Heinkel 177A5. So I will be doing a separate video on test flying this, so look out for that. It'll probably be up within a few hours of this video. But anyway, let's look at the turrets. So you've got the... Okay, so you have two turrets with 20mm cannons, two turrets with 13mm machine guns, another one with a... with two 13mm machine guns, and then you've got one turret that just has a 7.92. Stock payload, 50 kilogram bombs, 48 of them. That's pretty good. So let's look at the armoring. Got a tub there, section there, basically just steel. No armor glass apart from this little bit on the back, so pretty basic armoring. X-ray, quite interesting engine design. You basically have two engines strapped together. Quite interesting there. There's all the fuel sort of in the center. So there's the 13mm twin turret. You've got a single 13 there. I believe the rear one's a 20. Yep, 20mm. And then you've got another 20 at the front, another 13 there, and I believe this is the 7.92mm. So overall pretty good. 5.3 battle rating, rank 4, 80,000 RP, so that's pretty good. Takeoff run is 5,200 feet, which isn't too bad for a bomber of this size, I don't think. Top speed, 330 after 22. I believe this has dive brakes. I'm not entirely sure though. I believe it does though, so I'll have to take a look at that when I do my video on it, which will be up soon. Okay, so any other German aircraft of note? I don't believe there is. Doesn't look like there is, no. Army, right, so as far as I know, the only German tank being added is the Leopard 2K. So let's take a look at this. So I know this tank looks pretty good. You've got a 120mm Rheinmetall L44 cannon. You have a 20mm gun on top. And you also have a 7.62mm machine gun. So let's look at the armor. So I know some people said the... Okay, so that's 50mm, 59mm at the front. That's not very good. Although there's probably composite armor that makes that not as bad. Also, the front of the turret would appear to be only 30 in thickness. Overall, the outside armor looks quite thin. But if we go X-ray, there's probably... That's surprising, actually. The frontal armor has no sort of spaced or composite armor. And it's only 59 and 50mm, so that's probably going to be a major weakness of the tank. Although the turret is surrounded with spaced armor, and so is sort of the sides of the tank, so that should help a bit, and a bit at the rear as well. Like most German tanks, you've got a lot of the ammo at the front, which could prove to be a major weakness. But yeah, overall, it looks pretty good guns, and you've got a 43 mile an hour top speed, so that's pretty good as well. So overall, decent tank by the looks of it, apart from one or two small weaknesses. Okay, so now let's move on to the Russians. So we're going to start off with the tanks. So as far as I am aware, the only current tank we know of being added is the T-64B 1984. So, 9.0 rating, same as the Abrams. Looks pretty good. You've got quite a few smoke grenade positions there. You have a 12.7mm machine gun up at the top. Guessing that the 7.62mm machine gun is that one there in the turret. 125mm cannon, that is very powerful, so that's going to probably do a lot of damage. So it's 9.0 again, which I expected the sort of more modern tanks to be 10.0. They might still do that before the update, but we're going to have to wait and see for that. And we got 390,000 XP or RP to research the vehicle. 38 miles an hour, so not as fast as the Abrams and the Leopard 2. So let's go on to the armor. 60mm, 80mm, so it's very good armor on the outside, as most Russian tanks have, and you've also got composite armor right there, yeah, basically a lot of composite armor. So this thing's probably going to be quite difficult to take out. Yeah, looks pretty good actually. I'm not anywhere near this tank, but I will hopefully aim for it in the future. It looks like quite a mobile tank. Quite low down to the ground, good gun, and very good armor around all the major points of the tank. So overall, looks pretty good. Now we're going to move on to aviation. So I believe we've got the, yeah, there it is, the LA-200. So, oh, that's interesting. The LA-174 has been moved over here. It's actually been moved out of the way. That's quite interesting. I didn't expect they would need to do that, but they have. So here it is, the LA-200. I'm probably going to have a video up in this within an hour, because this is something I'm really hyped for. An engine there, an engine there. I like the twin wheels on each leg at the back. That's quite an interesting design. This thing looks insane. You got 50 rounds per gun, which isn't much, but it's really not that bad, to be fair. I think that's more than some of the MiGs have, so that's good. Armor, no armor whatsoever, but if we go X-ray... That's such a strange design. You've got the engine there facing downwards, and then you've got the other engine at the back. So that is very cool. What's that? Oil cooling system. 337mm cannons. Fuel. There's the controls. Overall, looks pretty nice. It's 200,000... whoa, this is an 8.0. What? Oh, God. Okay, this thing's an 8.0. That is going to... Down tiers in this are going to be fun. 659 miles an hour at sea level. I can't imagine this staying as an 8.0 up until the update, but if it does, that's going to make some really fun down tiers. 200,000 RP, I'm not going to argue with that, that's pretty good. Just quickly look at the modifications. What can you get? Okay, so you can't get any bombs or anything, but overall, it looks like a generally good aircraft. I really like the look of it. It looks quite strange. It looks sort of like a MiG-17 that's been extended with an extra engine. Okay, now we are going to move on to the British. So, what have we got? I believe... Oh, nice. Okay, so... Let's get into this. Spitfires. We have got... Actually, wait a minute. Is there... No, okay. I saw something about the new French Tier 1 bomber. There's going to be a British version, but I don't know if that was just not going to be added yet. So, 5B Trop looks to have a different camo. There we go, that is a lovely camo. So, nice new desert camouflage for this. It's the same aircraft, just with a desert camouflage. Then we also have the standard 5B without the sand filter and with a standard Spitfire camouflage. So, looks quite nice. People have been asking for that for quite a while. The 5C Trop, and then there's the standard 5C without the sand filter. So, pretty much just more... So, basically another 10 free repairs on the 5C, which I'm not going to argue with. So, there we go. They're pretty much probably going to perform the same as the versions they replaced. So, the non-Trop version will be the same as the Trop versions. But, yeah, it just looks nicer, in my opinion. And then, of course, we also have the MB5 right here. So, I have actually pre-ordered this. I'm very excited for it. So, look at that. Look how big those props are. Absolute beast aircraft. So, there's no armour. You've got the engine, Rolls-Royce Griffin. You got takeoff power of 2,280 horsepower, not bad at all. 1,900 horsepower of standard power. You have got 4 Hispanos with 200 ammunition each, which really is that's really good. Quite a lot of fuel tanks all around the pilot though. Then you've got the cooling system. So I'm definitely going to be making a test flight video on this. Really interesting looking aircraft. So look out for that video as well. Now, if I move over to British Army or tanks, and we scroll down, you will see, first off, the Chieftain 3 and 5 have been folded, so now you don't have to get the Mark 5. But the Challenger is here. It's a 9.0 at the moment. I can imagine them, all of these sort of more modern tanks, I can imagine them up-tiering them a bit, maybe 10.0, possibly. It might not happen, but you never know. So you got the 120mm cannon, the L11A5, 52 rounds of ammunition. You also have 2 7.62mm machine guns. The tank has a max speed of 35 miles an hour. Pretty good. 390,000 research points overall. Hull armor looks pretty good. Let's just look at the armor. So you've got a 70mm plate there. Turret's pretty much 30 to 20 as it moves back. Front bits of 50. Sides are quite thin, but then I'm guessing if you go onto X-ray, yeah, look at that. Wow, that is a lot of composite armor all over the thing. That is really a lot. This is probably going to be one of the best protected tanks in the game. The only problem is, of course, the driver's feet. Shell could hit the 70mm plate, possibly get under the composite armor, but that will be probably quite difficult to do from a distance. But still, lots of composite armor, good gun. All the ammo seems to be at the back, so I'm guessing there's no composite armor there. So if an enemy shell can get through the 44mm, he could knock out your entire crew from behind. But overall, looks like a very good tank. And this tank, this is the first new tank that I'm sort of just grinding for. I'm going to hopefully have this within a few weeks of the update. Okay, I don't believe there's any more British tanks. I don't think. No. Okay, let's go to Japan. Don't believe they have anything else. No new Japanese tanks. Aviation, they do have, here it is, the Kai 108. Do they have any new jets? No. So Kai 108, let's take a look at this thing. So it's 36,000 RP, which isn't too bad whatsoever. It's 4.0, rank 3. You've got the 37mm cannon, the Ho 203 cannon with 25 rounds. And you have 2 Ho 5 20mm cannons with 400 rounds or 200 rounds per gun. I like the looks of this aircraft. Quite a strange design for the canopy. I'm not sure what's up with that. You do have 12mm of steel behind the pilot. 2 engines. Overall looks pretty good, to be fair. I like the camouflage design. Looks nice. I'm not gonna lie. I do like the design. So yeah, test flight video on this will also be coming out today, hopefully. So look out for that. Okay, so I believe that's all the Japanese aircraft that have been added this update. Any premiums? No. Okay, Italians. So, first off, the RE2000 Series 1. Originally, I actually thought that these sort of fighters were more higher tier machines that were competitors to the G55. Apparently, though, that's just later versions, and they're only adding a tier 1 at the moment. But looking at the performance of this, it's going to be a very good performer. You've got two 12.7mm machine guns, it's a 2.0, 5,900 RP, 312 miles an hour top speed, isn't too bad. Turn time of 17.2 seconds, not bad whatsoever. So overall that looks pretty good, probably a fun little aircraft to seal club in. No new jets by the looks of it. Spitfire Mark 5B, let's look at that, here we go. So the Italians do now have a premium Mark 5B Trop Spitfire. Effectively very similar, new sand camouflage, similar to that on the British Spitfire 5B now, only with Italian roundings, so roundels, so not much really changed, it's just basically a standard Spitfire 5B. Okay, so, anything else? I'm just going to check something actually, because I did see something somewhere that said, hey, here we go. Yeah, there we go. The Americans actually do now have the F-84 G21. So the same one on the Italian tech tree. There we go. So it's the same as the one on the Italian tech tree, just with a different paint scheme. So people can stop sort of getting annoyed now that it wasn't on the American tech tree. It is now here. So yeah, just I remembered seeing that somewhere, so I thought, is it actually there? And yes, it is. Now over to the French. So we have got the Martin 167A3. Here we go. There we go. That looks pretty good. I believe, yeah, it's got 4 machine guns forward, and then it's just got a single turret there, and it is 1,000 pound of bombs stock. No armor. X-ray. Yeah, 3 crew members. Quite a small bomber actually. It's not that big. Max payload is just 8 of those bombs, so 2,000 pound max payload, which isn't too bad for a 2.3. 5,900 XP. 275 mile an hour top speed. Overall, not too bad whatsoever. And then if we scroll down, oh, what's this? Okay, we also have a French Yak 3 now, premium. So it's basically just a Yak 3 standard camo with French sort of prop hub, French tail, rudder, and roundels on the underside. But other than that, it's pretty plain, so just sort of a copy and paste. Personally won't be getting it, but you know, could be a good thing to grind out the tech tree with if you're looking to do so. Anything else? No. And here we go. The MD 4522C, or the Mystère 2C. So, this looks pretty cool. I think at the moment it does just look like a standard Mystère. In the CDK there is a picture of it with tanks on the end of the wings, fuel tanks. So that could be something. The exhaust looks different as well. You have a higher top speed and 2 30mm cannons, which I believe are possibly the same ones that are on the SO 4050 A, the late version of the French jet bomber. So you got a 638 mile an hour top speed. This is a 200,000 XP, same as the earlier version of the Mystère, and it's 9.0. You've got 26.9 second turn time, which isn't too bad. I don't know if the earlier one had this, but this does have the dihedral on the tail. I don't know if the earlier version had that, but the 2 30mm cannons will definitely add to its firepower. Anyway, so I believe that is everything for this update. I'm not entirely sure. Oh no, there is this and that. Okay, yeah, so we got, first off, you got the AMX 30B2 Brennus, which is a updated variant. You've got a 105 cannon, which I believe is the same as the standard AMX 30. You've got a 20mm, and you also have a 7.62mm machine gun. It's covered in ERA, which will probably help with the performance, although effectively standard AMX 30B2 with slightly improved performance via the ERA. 40 mile an hour top speed. It's a rank 6 with a rating of 8.7, and you've got 390,000 RP. So that's not too bad. And then of course you do have the AMX, just the standard AMX 30 Premium, which has the 105mm cannon, a 12mm machine gun rather than a 20mm and 20mm cannon, and you have a 7.62mm machine gun in the turret as well. So effectively just a AMX 30 Premium that's sort of lesser than that one in the tech tree. Okay, so I believe that is it. I believe that is everything that's being added in this update, as far as I know. So, very soon we will be getting more video. You'll be getting more videos from me of test flights or test drives, all the vehicles I can, and a video showcasing all of the new graphic improvements. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like, maybe even subscribe to the channel. That would be absolutely brilliant. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.